Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over part 2 of Britney Spears' conservatorship situation. Just a quick recap. In part 1, we went over what the definition of a conservatorship is, recent events that led to the focus on it this year, and also some events that led Britney to be in one in the first place. I also debated a few of the examples that were given by some news reports as to why she should be in one. Mainly the Las Vegas annulment situation. So, in part 2, I will compare Britney's situation with other celebrity conservatorship scenarios. I will also discuss the conspiracy theories that have been surrounding Britney and this conservatorship situation. The main theory is that Britney is an MK Ultra victim and is trying to escape. I will give a Cliff's Notes version of what exactly is MK Ultra and why Britney is used as an example of it by conspiracy theorists. I will also bring up additional information that has come up regarding this conservatorship case, including her psychiatrist suddenly passing away right before the court date in September. So let's get your tinfoil hats ready and let's go. Upon looking up other celebrities who have been in a similar situation, one person popped up on the top of the search results, and that was Amanda Bynes. Like Britney, Amanda Bynes is also in a conservatorship under her parents due to having similar breakdowns in 2013 and 2014. As a matter of fact, I would argue that some of Amanda's actions were more dangerous than Britney's, including the time she set a fire in the driveway of a neighbor's home in California. That situation caused her to be put under a 72-hour 5150 psychiatric hold. She also threw a bong out of her 36th floor window in Manhattan. So it's very easy to see why her parents were granted a conservatorship. However, unlike Britney, Amanda's parents had to repeatedly go in and out of court to retain the conservatorship and to also get extensions. In December 2018, the conservatorship of the person was extended for Amanda's parents, while the conservatorship of the estate was terminated. This means that Amanda, as of December 2018, has regained control of her finances, but her parents can still make medical decisions on her behalf. An article from the law firm The Talbot Law Group PC notes that if all Amanda's assets were placed in a trust, there would be no need for a conservatorship of the estate. And this is because in a trust, Amanda would have to be the trustee in order to get access to her assets. Also, in November 2018, around the same time that Jamie Spears was hospitalized, Heather Locklear's lawyers were in talks with Britney's conservatorship lawyers. Heather Locklear's loved ones considered putting her under a conservatorship after she was reportedly placed on a 5150 psychiatric hold on November 18th. This was after a therapist had determined that she was having another mental health breakdown. Her family was considering it due to Heather consistently checking out early from treatment centers. Heather had several incidents during the course of 2018, including attacking a police officer during a dispute with her boyfriend. Radio and TV legend Casey Kasem was another individual that was involved in conservatorship hearings prior to his death. In 2013, his adult children filed for conservatorship due to his second wife barring the kids, other friends, and other family members, such as his younger brother, from visiting or even speaking with him. During the time, Casey Kasem was suffering from advanced Parkinson's disease, he was bedridden, and he had a diminished mental capacity. His wife, Jean Kasem, argued that it was toxic for the children to visit, and while she refused to elaborate publicly what she meant by toxic, she stated that only the daughters know why they are not allowed to visit him. Police and Adult Protective Services were sent to the home to evaluate the situation and found that Casey was receiving adequate care. Now, Casey's conservatorship is the typical scenario when you see this coming up. It's mainly the elderly and mainly those with a diminished mental capacity and usually cannot even do half the things that Britney Spears is currently able to do in her life. Now, going back to Britney. After years of Britney's life being fairly quiet, a series of unfortunate events occurred starting in November 2018. Jamie Spears was hospitalized after his colon spontaneously ruptured, and he was immediately admitted to surgery. While he was recovering, in January, Britney's Las Vegas residency was canceled. The statement was made by her camp that she was going to go home, help take care of her dad, and get some much-needed rest. Then in March, the co-conservator attorney Andrew Wallet abruptly resigned from his conservatorship position. This is when Jamie became the sole conservator, which became an issue due to his ailing health. Now here's where things go on the fringe. On the podcast, Britney's Graham on April 18, 2019, an anonymous paralegal who was familiar with the conservatorship left a voicemail for the host. He claimed that Britney was being held against her will and not taking an extended vacation at all. After this podcast went viral, it got to the point where Britney had to go on Instagram to try and deny the rumors. I'll play you the video right now.
Hi guys, just checking in with all of you who are concerned about me. All is well. My family has been going through a lot of stress and anxiety lately, so I just needed time to deal. But don't worry, I'll be back very soon.
Her mother then got involved in liking several of the conspiracy posts and hashtag Free Britney hashtags. Then on May 10th, Britney and her mother go to court to have her mom included in all matters in which special notice may be requested in her conservatorship. This led to the judge ordering the expert evaluation, which takes about 3 months. In June, Britney's conservatorship filed a lawsuit against Anthony Elia, who runs the website Absolute Britney. They state that he had falsely claimed that the court-ordered conservatorship was manipulating Britney Spears' Instagram account to make her appear more troubled and in need of help than she actually is. In late August is when K-Fed filed the restraining order against Jamie Spears after the altercation he had in Britney's home with her son Sean. While no child abuse charges were placed on Jamie, the restraining order was granted. This led to K-Fed now receiving full custody of Britney's children. While she still has visitation rights, K-Fed is the one who decides now who will be the supervising adult during the visits. She also lost the overnight visit privileges due to this situation. On August 24th, Britney's psychiatrist, Dr. Timothy Benson, died. While the cause of death has not been disclosed, sources do state that the 48-year-old psychiatrist died from an aneurysm. Some have questioned Dr. Benson's expertise in treating serious mental health issues, as he was known for working more with NBA and NFL teams, inspiring athletes to achieve success. Now, mind you, he is a board-certified psychiatrist, but it was told by some people in Britney's life that she needed someone who worked full-time on serious mental health issues to handle her case. And in a way, this kind of reminds me of the Michael Jackson situation with Dr. Conrad Murray, whom did not have proper medical training on using propofol. Now, several have suspected that Britney was held against her will to go through MK Ultra reprogramming. For those unfamiliar with the term, MK Ultra was a top-secret CIA project where mind control experiments were done on U.S. citizens and the military. The program officially ran from 1953 to 1973 and became public knowledge in 1975 during a congressional hearing regarding illegal CIA activities. Here's a clip from National Geographic explaining the program.
After the Korean War, disturbing new intelligence reaches Washington. Hundreds of American troops are still being held captive, subjected to brainwashing experiments, and then killed. Mind control research back home intensifies. The new goal is to cause an individual to become subservient to an imposed control, to the point where he will perform acts against his will and then have no memory of the act. The search for a real-life Manchurian candidate begins. To produce such an assassin, the CIA faces two main challenges: how to induce amnesia and how to program in new behavior. In 1957, Dr. Ewan Cameron, an eminent psychiatrist in Montreal, believes he has the answers. Cameron applies his techniques under the guise of normal therapy.
There's a three-part technique which started with an effort to wipe out past patterns of behavior. And this was accomplished through the use of particularly intensive, repeated, high-level electroshocks until no more convulsions could be elicited from a patient.
Cameron then plays tape-recorded messages through helmets that are locked to his patients' heads. This psychic driving forces them to listen to repetitive statements for weeks on end to program in new behavior.
Now, the final phase was to try to wipe out all recollection of what had happened, and that was accomplished by putting people to sleep for 30, 40 days, accompanied by different kinds of cocktails of drugs. Now, that's not any kind of therapy. That's a brainwashing experiment.
Okay, so as you can see from the video, the MK Ultra program itself is not a conspiracy theory. It was an actual program that did exist, where there are actual victims and there were consequences for running that program. However, here's where the conspiracy part comes in. Many conspiracy theorists claim that the program never actually stopped, and that some stars in the music industry and Hollywood in general are victims of this program. Britney Spears is one of the most commonly used examples of what a potential MK Ultra victim looks like. And this is due to her previous erratic behavior and how many handlers are involved in her life in general. Here are a list of the signs that a celebrity may be an MK Ultra victim. Victims displaying multiple personalities, mental breakdowns, and dissociative identity disorder. So, as you can see here, I had pictures of Beyonce's alter ego, Garth Brooks' alter ego, where he had that one album that was not country, and Nicki Minaj's Roman Zelensky character. Other main thing, which is frequently used for Britney, is they have a handler who helps control their behavior. And this can include using certain code words, code names, and triggers to activate certain alter personas. They also tend to keep the celebrity isolated from others. In regards to Britney's case, if you notice, she hardly ever does interviews. You really do not see her having a nightlife or seen eating out publicly in restaurants or anything of that sort. Like, her life is very private when compared to other celebrities. Also, one thing to note is celebrities sometimes switch to other alters on live TV because certain trigger or code words are used, which takes this celebrity to a different personality, ready to perform certain actions. I'm going to play you a 2003 interview that Britney Spears did, where the erratic behavior that some of these news reports have mentioned before, this I found was a better example, to be frank. And some of you may actually remember this interview. It's one of the most commonly used examples, but I'm actually going to play the clip for you now so you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
And it all happens as she's starring as a kind of villain in the tabloid accounts of supposed jealous arguments and then a horrible breakup with her self-proclaimed first love, Justin Timberlake.
You've had a rough year. You've had a year that would test a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Illness in the family. Mm-hmm. A breakup. This spasm of publicity about what happened from Mexico to London.
It was pretty rough, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ah, weird. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew. Strong Britney. Yeah, it was a weird time. Ew. I'm embarrassed. Can we stop this?
Other signs include black and white clothing, whether stripes or checkered. This usually symbolizes duality between the victim's regular life and slave life. Also a note, diamonds represent the presidential model and is normally the highest level for a sex slave. Prime example, many conspiracy theorists think that Marilyn Monroe was one of the top MK Ultra victims, and she's always noted as a presidential model, mainly because of her relationships with both JFK and RFK. Beta sex kitten alters. So what that is the beta sex kitten is a program within the MK Ultra program, basically. You will see that the victims often dress like wildcats, often a tiger, leopard, or lion. Picture of Katy Perry when she was representing her perfume line. Also, her fans are referred to as Katy Cats. Another interesting thing is Mickey Mouse ears can also symbolize MK Ultra mind control. Disney movies and shows are filled with dark symbolism, including cartoon movies. You want to see an example? Just watch Fantasia. That's probably one of the best examples. Here are some other well-known signs of MK Ultra programming. One eye is bigger than the other. And I'm not talking it has to be drastic like the Forrest Whitaker eye either. Bleaching hair to platinum blonde color or wearing a platinum blonde wig. Changing back to natural color for somebody who's been dyeing their hair blonde consistently can sometimes mean that the person is rebelling from their handlers, or that is their alter persona or their original persona. Monarch butterflies is often a symbol used and is subliminally placed. Is mirrors, specifically cracked or shattered mirrors, as shattered mirrors represent fractured personality that was created by the traumatic mind control. Here's another interesting thing that conspiracy theorists state. Such trauma leads to an eventual breakdown or meltdown, usually around 27 or 28 years old, which is when they start rebelling from their handler. They're likely to go into rehab for MK Ultra mind control and are placed under trauma-induced acts to make them obey again. That also may explain why there's such thing as called the 27 Club. Just a thought. So, with all this drama, will Britney ever be able to be fully independent? I'm going to assume that the evidence that was presented to the court regarding Britney's mental health was enough to continue this unusual conservancy. Is Britney's mental health really that bad that she can never be fully independent? Only those closest to her really know what's up. Now, this may all be the after effects of being groomed since childhood to be a star. We've seen all too often that childhood celebrities have had trouble adjusting to adulthood. All I know is that if she does have the ability to make her own decisions, she should be allowed to do so. If her mental health is that bad, then either stop making her perform or drastically reduce her performances. It just comes off to me as pure greed if she really is that bad mentally and you're putting her on stage instead of living a less stressful life. So, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? Have any of you guys dealt with the conservatorship? Do you think Britney was held against her will and reprogrammed? Or that there are legitimate reasons for her lack of independence for so many years? Let me know your thoughts. See you guys next time.